Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to your cricket broadcast, the Cricket Happening Show. As you know, I'm not being able to do it regularly. As I said, I do have a sort of a challenging issue going on at home right now. But anyways, I'm here to talk about the World Cup 2019. Today, Australia became the first team to qualify for the semi-finals of the World Cup. As you know, in this World Cup 2019, there are no quarterfinals. The top four go into the semi-finals. Australia have already clinched their berth in the semi-finals of World Cup 2019, and what a job Australia have done. I mean, one would have not given such a lot of chances to Australia, but today they defeated the hosts in their own homeland. So they defeated England. As you know, Australia-England clashes are something akin to what happens between India and Pakistan. And today, what a victory for Australia! I mean, they had a very comfortable victory, one could say. If you look at the card there, the Australians humbled the Englishmen by 64 runs, and I think England now has suffered their second loss here. As far as they already lost the match to Pakistan, as you would remember, and then Sri Lanka upsetting their apple cart, and now Australia. So this is the third loss in England, and this is something. Now, what has happened here in this World Cup is that Australia definitely have entered the semi-finals, but also it has totally opened up this World Cup absolutely ajar. And the reason I say that is because now the contenders have increased for the semi-finals. It could be Pakistan, it could be West Indies who could have a sniff probably. It could be the Sri Lankans, or it could be the other team would be Pakistan, New Zealand, not New Zealand, sorry, Pakistan, West Indies, and the other team Sri Lanka have become contenders now, as I said, because of this victory where England suffered their third loss. And this is not good news for England, because as you know, the World Cup is happening in England. England have never won a World Cup, and now the pressure is right there on England. And what a World Cup it is turning out to be. So I'll be talking about the game that happened. As I said, Australia beating England by 64 runs today at the mecca of English cricket, of world cricket, we could call it, the Lord's Cricket Ground. Now, if you look at the Australian card there, in fact, the toss was actually won by captain the England. I'm just going to see that. Yes, England actually won the toss. Morgan decided that he would insert the Australians into bat, and the Australians batted first. They put up a very good opening partnership. Now this has been the feature as far as Australia's success is concerned. David Warner has come back into the side, which has strengthened the side greatly. And Aaron Finch, as a captain of the Aussie team, we all know what a horrible form he was, and one was wondering whether Aaron Finch would make it. And here comes Aaron Finch coming and scoring a century. What a knock from Aaron Finch! I mean, he made 100 runs of 116 deliveries, which included 11 fours and 2 sixes. Tremendous job by Aaron Finch and David Warner, actually setting up the base. But one thought that Australia probably would have actually definitely finished on a below par score, according to me, because with the scorecard at 173 for doing the 37th over, I reckon, when Usman Khawaja was at the crease, one would have reckoned that the Aussies would have actually put up 300 runs on the board, or excess of 300, but that was not to be, with some fine bowling coming in the death overs from the Englishmen. 285 for 7 was what Australia could show on the board, but let me tell you, that was really enough to actually get hold of England. Aaron Finch, as I said, has really proven himself to be a very tough competitor in this World Cup, and as a captain has been leading by example. 100 of 116 deliveries, which included 11 fours and 2 sixes. Warner contributing 53 of 61, 6 boundaries. Usman Khawaja made 23 of 29 with 1 boundary. But then there was a phase of play when they scored at 173, as I said, and suddenly things started really not moving, and it was Aaron Finch who was absolutely furious for getting out after making 100 runs when Jofra Archer actually picked up his wicket. And after that, we definitely saw a slump in the Australian batting there, because they really slumped from a very good situation, and that is what actually restricted them to below 200. As Smith was out for 38 of 34 deliveries, 5 boundaries. Maxwell smashed a 6 under 4 of the bowling of Jofra Archer to take the challenge right up to him. But then Wood was the one who picked up the wicket of Glenn Maxwell for 12. Stoinis was run out for 8, and then it was left to Alex Carey to really carry on the innings further, which he did. With whatever resources he could, he mustered an unbeaten 38 of 27 with 5 boundaries. Cummins was out for 1, Stark was not out on 4, and the Aussies, I thought, were restricted to 285 for 7. I thought English bowlers doing a good job, the final analysis, to keep the Australians at 285, and which I definitely thought it was not really a par score, but I was proved absolutely wrong, because the Aussies actually went on to defeat the Englishmen. But let's have a look at the bowling card from the Englishmen. Vokes had 10 overs, no made in 2 for 46. Jofra Archer definitely did not get his bearings right today. He disappeared to all corners of the field. 9 overs, no made in 1 for 56. Mark Wood, 9 overs, 1 for 59. Stokes bowled 6 overs, 1 for 29. Moeen Ali, 6 overs, 142. Rashid had 10 overs. I thought he was a bit of a respectability there. 10 was none for 49. Now England were given a target of 286 runs to win from that 50 overs, and Vince definitely was a walking wicket. And Aussies made a changes today. They brought they brought Behendorf into the squad today, which I thought was a very good move on the part of the Aussie think tank. To actually have Behendorf. They also had Nathan Lyon included in the lineup as well. And Behendorf is someone who can swing the ball both ways. And the in-dipper taking care of Vince as it went on to disturb the timber. The middle stump was bent back, and that was a perfect start that the Aussies would have preferred. It was a massive in-swinger, which came a long way, and it was all over for James Vince. James Vince was gone for a blob. Bairstow played some attractive strokes in his knockout 27, but he was also a victim of the bowling of Behendorf. Behendorf actually going on to pick up 5 wickets in the innings. Bairstow was a sort of a shot which he tried to take a sort of as a risk to actually hit Behendorf over the top, and it ended up at deep mid-wicket. So that was the end of Jonathan Bairstow. Joe Root could not do much. He was out to a brilliant delivery from Mitchell Stark, which really jagged back, and Joe Root was another walking wicket in the similar vein as James Vince to Behendorf. So that was the end of Joe Root. That was a big wicket, and at that time the score actually read 15 for 2, and then we had Morgan being sent back to the pavilion by Mitchell Stark, and that was something which really say that the English total, they were really staring down the barrel. He went to a pull shot. Cummins tempted him with a short delivery. Morgan took up the gauntlet, tried to pull him, but the bouncer, the pull shot actually landed like a top edge, and Cummins actually taking the catch. So Stark was the bowler there. So that was well thought of, and suddenly the Englishmen were in dire straits at 53 for 4 when Bairstow's wicket was taken. And then there was a partnership that happened, and this partnership was happening between Buttler and Ben Stokes. Now Ben Stokes, he was looking pretty good, and he was stroking the ball very freely. At the other end, Buttler had got 25 to his name, and that was the time, and that is this big wicket that the Aussies very definitely needed, because if they had left Buttler to really settle in, things could have gone absolutely wrong for them. And this was Buttler actually getting a ball which he tried to flick, and the ball actually went onto the boundary, and it was a nice catch which was taken by Usman Khawaja. So that was gone 124 for 5, and then Chris Vokes walked in and started giving company. So the score read at that particular time when Ben Stokes was when Josh Buttler was on 124 for 5, but at least some sort of it was showing some sort of respectability to what was happening before. So that was the good part for the Englishman. And then Chris Wokes joined Ben Stokes, and they started pushing on the score. And Ben Stokes received a beautiful delivery. I mean, he was going very, very well at that particular juncture. He had already had 89 runs to his credit of 115 deliveries, which included 8 fours and 2 sixes. And this was in 37th over with the English score at 177. And Mitchell Starc produced a magnificent delivery. It was a ball which was absolutely pitched on the block hole. It was an off-stump Yorker which started tailing away, and it was all over as Ben Stokes' timber was disturbed, and Ben Stokes was walking back to the pavilion. That was the big wicket that the Aussies needed, and the Englishmen were in absolutely. But one thing that one could really say here is that England can never lose hope, because they have a very, very strong batting order. It's always said that the Englishmen bat till the number 10 batsman, or even 11, with Mark Wood coming in at number 11. But today it was not the case. I mean, one has seen that in this World Cup, even on a batting wicket, with England actually boasting of a superb batting lineup which bats till the end. I thought they have not delivered the goods, according to me, and that was precisely the case. Bandov was brought back onto his second spell after doing the early damage in his first spell, and he once again started doing what he was doing best when he was bowling in the first spell, and that has been a big sort of a big plus for the Aussies. And as I said, what a selection by the Aussie think tank to bring Bandov into the attack. And Bandov, magnificent, as I said. Now this was Moeen Ali, who was caught behind by Carey as he got an outside edge to a ball. Again, the ball nipping off the seam, and Moeen Ali was walking back to the pavilion. He was gone for 6. The score at 189 for 7 in the 40th over. Wokes was still there at the crease, so there was a bit of hope as well with Adil Rashid walking in, another all-rounder. Now, the score was 189 when Moeen Ali passed away, and then it was another 20 runs were added, and Bandov once again started getting into the wickets column there, as Chris Wokes probably a bit frustrated there, as the run rate, they still had 83 runs to get at that particular stage, and there were 9 overs, so still it was a stiff task with 9 runs still required. But Chris Wokes, trying to have a massive whip over the leg side, actually was caught by Finch. It was a nice catch taken by Finch, and that was the end of Chris Wokes, and that was really, really turning matters into the Aussie hands. So Wokes was gone, caught Finch bowled Bandov for 26 of 34 deliveries, which included 2 boundaries. Adil Rashid was there at the crease with Jofra Archer joining in, but Jofra Archer was an early victim as Bandov came in and picked up his 5th wicket. And what a World Cup for Bandov. Bandov is playing his first ever World Cup, and here comes Bandov, really, really battering the Aussies, one could say, as this was Jofra Archer once again. As you know, in the other game against Sri Lanka, he attempted a very, very big stroke which was absolutely unnecessary, and this time once again Jofra Archer, this is not to be expected. I mean, he was trying a shot, he was trying to send Bandov into the open territory, and he was caught at the long off by Warner. Probably could have waited, because Adil Rashid is a sort of an experienced player. He could have just bided his time a bit, because this happened in the 44th over, and I thought 74 runs was there, but at least they could have taken some chances, because they know for a fact that Mark Wood was the last batsman to come in, and we all know that Mark Wood is a genuine tail-ender. So Jofra Archer, I thought inexperience is really, really telling him, because this is the second time that Jofra Archer has played a rank bad shot under the circumstances. But nevertheless, it's all over. I'm sure he's going to definitely learn a lot as things go by, being his first World Cup. And Jofra Archer was gone for Bandov. Bandov, what a spell of bowling! 5 wickets into his bag there. Adil Rashid was the next victim. Finally, with Mark Wood coming in, Adil Rashid had to definitely try to do something, and that was all over. And that was all over for the Englishman, as Adil Rashid out for 25, 20 deliveries, 3 fours, 1 6. Mark Wood is not out on 1, and the England were bowled out for 221. And what a tremendous bowling spell by both Behrendorff and Mitchell Starc, sharing the spoils there. And Behrendorff especially playing his first World Cup, picking up a fifer. 10 overs no made 44 runs and 5 wickets for Jason Behrendorff. Mitchell Starc 8.4 overs, 1 made 43 runs and 4 wickets, exhibiting some tremendous pace and tremendous Yorkers. He was simply superb. Patrick Cummins, 8 overs, 1 minute, 41. Nathan Lyon playing his first game in this World Cup, 9 overs, no minute, none for 43. Mark Stoinis, 7 overs, 1 for 29. And Maxwell bowled 2 overs for 15. And Aaron Finch was given the Man of the Match award. Now, that was something which could have been debated because perfectly, as you know, it's a batting track. And I thought that Aaron Finch, definitely not taking any credit away from him, but my man of the match would have been Jason Behrendorff, because that was very vital. England had a very strong batting lineup, and the bowling was very, very crucial, according to me. And Behrendorff, especially playing his first game of the World Cup, I would have probably my man of the match would have been Jason Behrendorff. Well done, Behrendorff. But nevertheless, as I said, I am not taking any credit away from Aaron Finch, the Aussie captain, who made a century. But nevertheless, I thought probably they could have shared the Man of the Match award. Well, dear fans and subscribers, this is as far as I said, Australia have become the first team to enter the semi-finals of World Cup 2019, and congratulations to them. Let's talk about yesterday's game that happened between Bangladesh and Afghanistan. Bangladesh, as you know, have been going from strength to strength, and yesterday once again they showed what a competitive unit they are in this World Cup. And as I said, they have been playing to their best ability, and once again we saw how they played. And we all know that Shakib Al Hasan, who has been doing a great show in this World Cup, this time put up a double whammy, one could say, as he first not only went on to make a 50, but also went on to pick up 5 wickets of the Afghanistan batsmen. And as I said, this particular feat of scoring a 50 and taking 5 wickets in a World Cup has happened only twice. One was by it is something which belongs to India. One was done by the former winning captain, where India won their first ever World Cup, that is in 1983, and the other second, and also incidentally the next World Cup that India won was in the year 2011 under Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and Yuvraj Singh was the one who did this. So Shakib Al Hasan goes into those, has this rare distinction of joining these two all-rounders as making 50 runs and taking 3 wickets, and really one has to doff the hat to this gentleman Shakib Al Hasan of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh, as I said, with England actually losing today, as I said, this World Cup 2019 has opened up a great deal, and now we are definitely going to see the lot of competition in this World Cup, because every team can sniff a chance to enter the semi-finals. So that's the situation as far as World Cup 2019 is concerned. And just talking about, and Afghanistan, unfortunately, has been a very, very horrendous World Cup for Afghanistan. They have not won a single game, and they have definitely faltered. One can only feel sorry for them. They are having issues. They had a new captain. They had a new cricket manager, or probably some changes in the higher ranks. Besides, Mohammad Shahzad was sent back, and Mohammad Shahzad said that he was basically fit. He was declared fit by the doctor, so one does not know what's going on. And unfortunately, I have to say, riddled with problems, Afghanistan have not been able to put a good show, because I was definitely expecting Afghanistan to go and make an upset. They definitely came close to doing that against India, but India got out of jail. Other than that, one thing I would like to share, tomorrow's game is going to be a very, very crucial game for Pakistan. Pakistan take on New Zealand, and what a game that is going to be. But unfortunately, I have to say that the forecast is not looking pretty good. One hopefully prays that the game goes through, but for Pakistan it would be very, very essential, because they have to get into the points tally. They right now have only 5 points. A win will give them 7. So it's a very crucial game for Pakistan. If at all it gets rained out, that will be probably not really be in favor of them. For New Zealand, who have been having a roller coaster ride, not till now, no team has not defeated them. They are having a roller coaster ride, but their tough matches are yet to come against Australia and England. Well, dear fans, just before I go, one final note. This is apart from the World Cup. There was Netherlands Zimbabwe have actually completed the tour of the Netherlands. I have to say that Zimbabwe actually won the second T20, so it went into a tie, and then a one-over eliminator was played where Zimbabwe clinched it. But I have to say that Netherlands have put up a great show in this particular tournament. In the first, they actually defeated Zimbabwe 2-0 in the ODI series, and now it's 1-1 in the T20. And I have to say the Netherlands have really put up a very good performance against Zimbabwe. Well, having said that, it's time for me to actually finally sign off on this cricket show, but definitely not promising, but trying to come to you. But as I said, if at all you don't see me or do it on YouTube, you can always visit my Twitter page where the cricket tweets are definitely there. And also, once again, I have to say my website is cricket-status.com. So whenever you find time, you can look into it. I definitely do some postings over there as well. A pleasure talking to you all, dear fans and subscribers. It's your host Ram, finally saying goodbye. Thank you.